Hi everyone. Today's episode we're looking at the question: not disciplined enough to write regularly. Here's how I can change that. Here's how to change that. So the first thing I noticed is that over time I've been looking at my life and I'm like I'm not consistent as a writer. I don't even like I can't really say that like even to call myself a writer sometimes I look at myself and I'm asking myself, dude, when last did you write? Right? So I noticed that I've tried over time. I fail, I try, I fail, I try, I fail. But then I was like, dude, yes, you're not consistent as a writer, but then you're consistent at not being a writer. And the funny thing is that over time, I feel like, oh, I can't really build a habit. I'm terrible at doing something consistently for a long time. But the thing is that there are things in our life that are not exactly the thing that we like. There are things that we do that are not exactly the things that we want to do, but we've been doing them consistently. So if we can do those things that are quote unquote bad habits or bad things, we can do the good things we desire to do too. So it's proof that we can be consistent with something. We can be consistent with doing and working on a particular project and things like that. Okay, so I have with me a couple of suggestions of ways I can build discipline, right, to write regularly. And first thing I see is that discipline isn't innate; it's a skill that can be learned, that can be developed. Okay, and then how do we even go about developing that? I don't know. I think we'll have to figure that out. Yeah, I think follow along my newsletter to find out. You don't need large blocks of time to write consistently. For most of us, we feel like we need 4 or 5 hours because you're not even a professional writer per se. Like you're not a full-time writer. So if you're a full-time writer and that's what you do, like what you do to survive, it's understandable why you're using 5 to 6 hours to write every day. Like it's understand that's your work, that's your job. You don't do anything else, right? But if you're not a full-time writer, you don't necessarily need a large chunk of time to write, right? You can use small writing time to write. You don't need large blocks of time to write consistently, okay? Now, motivation isn't as crucial as habit formation. So the question I keep asking myself is, who do I want to become? And I'm like, I want to become a writer. And okay, that's the identity I want to become. And what does a writer do? A writer writes. Okay, so let's go and create that habit. Once we can create that habit, then we'll be a writer. And I'm not gonna say it's easy. It's not easy, right? But it can be done. I've seen a lot of people do it, so I have proof that it can be done. Now I haven't done it myself, but I'll work on doing that. Okay, so a couple of practical advice we could use to build discipline for to write regularly is that you can start with small achievable daily writing goals like I'm going to write 50 words every day. It's achievable, it's measurable, it's something you can do every day. You can create a dedicated writing space and time. So it depends on your flexibility and the kind of work and everything you have. You can have a time that okay, this is the time I leave TikTok, I leave every other social platforms and I work and I do this thing irrespective of what I feel inspired or not. I do the task and the job that needs to get done, right? Okay, the other thing is that we can use habit stacking techniques to integrate writing into your routine. Okay, so let's say like habit stacking is how do you combine two things? Like let's say there's something you already do together, and okay, I'll give an example. Let's say um, you love to watch the movies, right? You watch a series, you love to binge watch a series, and you want to be the habit of exercising. What you can do is you could have okay, I'll give an example. Let's say you love to listen to a podcast where the people do deep dive and for 2, 3, 4 hours and everything. What you could do is you could say, okay, I want to do the exercise, I want to be running so and so time. Okay, like okay, let's say to run for every daily, it's gonna take about 30 to 45 minutes to like run from a particular point to another. And you say, okay, during that period of running, that's the only time I can listen to this favorite show of mine. Favorite podcast of mine. Okay, so in this scenario is what habit do I enjoy doing that I can complement with these other habits, right? It could be I don't know what the habit is. Like I haven't got this figured out yet, even me. So I'm just trying to explain it as much as I understand. I do hope you understand too. So we want to implement accountability measures like writing groups or public commitments, right? Want to take on projects, want to take on tasks, and but that way it's different. It's no longer about us anymore. The project has to get done, whether we feel like it or not. And then in that way, we get to master it. Discipline. There are certain tasks and certain things that discipline, like there are certain things that you do in your life that discipline is not an issue. You don't think, oh, I know discipline enough to do this thing. Like you do it anyway, right? Because there are a lot of commitments, a lot of responsibilities, and all that. And sometimes I'm asking myself, how can I put myself in a position in a situation where I get to be committed, I get this responsibility to do the task. That discipline or not discipline is not an option. Feeling to do it or not feeling to do it is not an option. Motivated or not motivated is not an option. Inspired or not inspired is not an option. Like that doesn't even enter the equation at all, because the things that need, like the task needs to get done irrespective of, right? Okay, so Haruki Murakami, yeah, Japanese. Is it Japanese? Yeah, or Chinese? I think Japanese. So said in his memoir, the repetition itself becomes the important thing. The repetition of coming up, of showing up itself becomes the important thing. The process of showing up, it becomes the important thing. The practice of writing itself becomes the important thing. And yeah, and I have a listener challenge for you, and it says your writing challenge for this week is, for this episode, is it, I will be publishing this every day, uh, for 30 days, is to establish a daily writing streak. Could be 50 words, could be write for at least 10 minutes every day for the next week, for the next 7 days. Just try it and see what just try it. There's no harm in 10 minutes, like 10 minutes, you can muster at 10 minutes, no matter how busy you think you are. Write 50 words or so, right? Wow, so that's it for this episode. If you got value from this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, to follow, and if you'd like to join the newsletter, you can go to buildwriting.com/newsletter to join the newsletter, to follow up with my progress and updates on creative writing and all that other tasks too. Yeah, my name is Oyemichi Nwakonam, and you're listening to the Build Writing Podcast. I've been your host so far, and if you have any questions you want to ask, or if you like to get your audio questions featured on the podcast episode, go to buildwriting.com/speak and click on the appropriate button to send me an audio recording of about 90 seconds or so, right? It's been a pleasure having you listen to my episode of me ranting and thinking out loud. Until next time, keep writing.